Hello. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Finally, we are live. Finally, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second session of Easy Research Talks. This is our second live session. And as I promised that today we are going to be talking about how to offer constructive criticism. If you are live with us, kindly share the broadcast so that everyone can benefit from the topic. How are you, Itashi Bambo? Oh, is that Dr. Bambo Shegun? How are you, Dr. Itashi? Hello, how are you on Instagram? You can join us from Facebook, from YouTube, as well as Instagram. So this is a multi-level live session. And thank you, Doctor. How are you, Toyizi? Long time. Hello, I am Rukayat Aregbe. Thank you for joining us. So our topic of discussion today is going to be offering constructive criticism. Hello, alaikum salam, Habibi. So criticism is a type of communication that is very important to everyone, regardless of if you are holding a Habibi, Dr. Mutaz Matar. Thank you for joining us. Constructive criticism is an important type of communication that, regardless of if you are holding a leadership communication, if you are holding a leadership position, if you are an entrepreneur, somebody that's trying to start his own business, or you are even a parent, this is a type of communication that we have to master, because you might be good at what you are doing. You might have money to start your own business, but if you cannot manage people, it is most often likely that you fail at it. You have the money, you have the skills, but then you can't really be successful at your business. Or you are a good father, you are a good mother, but then you are not connecting well with your children just because you can't give constructive criticism. Yeah, that's a very mouthful word. I'm just trying to slow it down so that we have as many as possible people to join us before we start diving deep into the discussion. So for now, I think everybody will have noticed that on this platform, what we are trying to do is to share complex issues, complex theories in either research, communication, soft skills, important topics that you might not be opportune to sit in class to learn. But these are things that we need in our life, we need in our day-to-day life. We need them to be successful at what we are doing. But then you read book, sometimes it might be too complex to understand. Sometimes you don't even have access to the right book. So how do we, as somebody that believes so much in connectivism, the help of this social media, it's not just about connecting with each other, being friends on social media. It's also about learning and sharing ideas with each other. So that's one of the benefits of connecting on social media. So how do we help each other? That's one of the motive behind what we are doing here. And I hope you guys will love what we have to discuss today. So why is criticism so important? You see, criticism is a type of feedback, right? And it can be positive and it can be negative, right? If you compare criticism as a feedback, looking at it from the two angles of negative and positive, we can say we have four different types of criticism, right? There are four different types of feedback you can get whenever you do something, or you make a performance, or you have an idea that you are opening out to people on. The feedback that people give you, it can be of four different types, right? Two of it are good and two are not really good. If you receive the bad ones, which otherwise known as negative criticism, it can kill ideas, before it even gets started. You can kill an idea as a leader, as a teacher. Some of us are teachers. Some of us are parents. And if you block people's idea before even they have the chance to leave, I mean, what kind of parent are you, or what kind of a teacher are you if your student or your children cannot connect with you? They can't run things by you just because they know that whatever they say, you are going to, kill it. And that's not a good relationship. So the very first one, like I said, we have four types. The very first one is the negative, destructive criticism, right? When you run an idea by someone and they give you a no feedback, a capital no, like this idea is bad. Oh my God, how dumb are you to think like this? What a stupid idea. I mean, I don't know if any of you have been in that shoes before. If you're a PhD student, I'm sure some of you have supervisors that they only wrong you. Some people tell me stories of submitting their proposals, and all their supervisors do is just wrong it. That's a capital no criticism. If you TJ Smart, thank you for joining us. This kind of criticism, when you give a capital no without giving reasons why the idea is bad, why the performance is bad, why the speech is bad, why the behavior is bad, whatever feedback you are giving, when you don't give reasons why you do not agree, that is a negative, destructive criticism. And what that can do to that person is that it can damp their morale, it can demotivate them. Hello everyone, thank you for joining us. Muhammad Azri from Malaysia. Ridwan, thank you for joining. You can kill people's morale, their self-esteem, just because you are saying no to them without giving them reasons why you do not agree with whatever they are offering, or whatever they are suggesting, or whatever performance they have. The second type of criticism is the negative constructive criticism. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm looking away, it's not because I'm ignoring Instagram. I am currently managing 3 platforms. I'm on YouTube as I'm talking to you. I'm on Facebook as well as Instagram. So the second one is the negative constructive one, right? The negative constructive criticism is the blunt one, when you just go straight to the point. You say no to the idea, you reject the idea, but then you give the reason. And when you write it down, you say no because so, and so. You have reasons why you are not agreeing with the idea. You have reasons why you are pushing back. And you give the reason, you state the reasons, rather than just saying no and just keep silent at it. So you are giving reason. It might be harsh, right? But the person you are offering that criticism would have something to take away from it. They have what they should improve on. You are not pampering them. You are not, like setting the mood to be receptive, but you ensure that you have a point for them on whatever feedback you are offering. So this type of criticism, this type of feedback is still considered good, but not very good. Okay, it's still okay. If you receive this kind of feedback, we have something good about it, but not 100% good. The very third one is the positive destructive criticism. The positive destructive criticism is that type of feedback that we receive from our family members, from our wives, from our husbands, from our relatives, people that they only care about our feelings. They are not really, there's a quote that says that when you are honest, when you are truth without love is considered cruelty, and kindness without honesty is hypocrisy, right? So sometimes our family members, our relatives might be hypocritical in the way they give feedback because they do not want to hurt us. They do not want to, hurt our feelings. All they tell you is that good idea, good one, good performance, good speech, good talk, good work. Even though they see something wrong with it, they don't bother to tell you. So it sometimes might be hypocritical, and that is also not good because it's kind of, it breeds complacence in people. You believe you are good. You believe you are good when you are not so good, right? And sometimes we love it, right? We always want to seek feedback from this kind of people because they will pamper you. They will accept whatever you do. So it's not a good type of feedback that you always want to get. So, and it's not also good, like I said, the first type of criticism is negative, destructive, when you are just being harsh, and that is saying the truth without love. When you take kindness out of what you are saying in totality, you don't bother the feeling of the person you are talking to, or the feeling of the student, the feeling of the kid that has done something. So you just say it like, imagine a 2 or 3 year old standing doing a performance, and then you call up the kid and say, what a stupid performance. I mean, that would be too cruel, right? So that would be truth without love. But then sometimes, because they are our kids, because they are our wives, we tend to be hypocritical because we are being kind without being honest. Thank you, Olanireti Ainde. Thank you for your comments on Instagram. So these are, I think I've mentioned 3 by now. I mean, am I too fast? Are you guys following me? Have you ever received any of this type of feedback from anyone, from parents, from teacher, or have you ever given this kind of feedback as a parent, as a teacher? I would love to hear from you guys. So the last one is the best one. It's what we refer to as the positive constructive criticism, otherwise known as the appreciative response, and some other people call it the sandwich feedback. So this type of criticism, this type of feedback will generally have something good about the performance. So the people that give this type of feedback are people that ask the question of, how can I make this idea better, rather than what is bad in this idea. That's the question you want to always ask when you are giving constructive criticism. You want to ask the question of, how can I make this person better? Okay. And how can I make this idea a better one, rather than what is bad in this idea. Constructive criticism from review. Exactly. I love that. And that's one thing that's good about, in fact, I have a point on that. And that's my very first point on how to make it happen. Because one good thing about the academic world is that when you submit a paper, right, to good journals, you go through a blind review. And during the blind review, the person that is reviewing your work does not know you. So they don't have reasons, they don't have motivations to demean or to be rude with you. So they often give constructive criticism because they are not just criticizing your submission, they are also suggesting how to make the paper a better one, right? So that's a very good one. Thank you for that input. So the question is, even though feedback is a very a common communication, is something that people run away from. As a leader, as a teacher, as a parent, sometimes we don't want to give feedback. Sometimes because we prefer to be peaceful than improvement. You know, you might meet some nice people, some good students, and you feel like, if I suggest something now that there's still a room for improvement, you might be seen as a sadist, or as a, like you say in Nigeria, we call it bad belly, you know, like you are not a good person because, oh my God, how can there be still room to improve? But yes, there's a room to improve. There's always room to improve. So sometimes we keep silent because of want to keep peace. Also, especially in some cases when we know maybe some of our colleagues, some of our relatives that we know that they have a borderline personality, that they have temper issue, you know that whatever you tell them, they are likely going to take it negative. So sometimes we stay away from giving feedback to this kind of people, even though we love them. We see reasons why they should improve. We know what they should do to get better. But we do not want to say it because we know that these people have temper issues. You know, they have ego problem. They see themselves as being perfect. How can it possible that you, as a small person, as a junior colleague, you know, how can it be possible that you want to, you want to suggest room for improvement for me, you know? So, and that's where criticism always leads to problem, leads to issues because of the people that we are offering it to. And also, sometimes we are scared, you know, to offer criticism because we don't know how the people that we are talking to, we are going to offer it to, we don't know how they will take it, because it is not everybody that welcome criticism positively, right? So these are the issues around giving feedback and criticism, but some of us can't help it. If you are a teacher, you can't help but to help students, right? If you are a parent, you can't help but to help your children. If you are, you know, a sincere person, if you are an honest person, you can't help but to always see some or one or two things that you can suggest to your friends to make whatever they are doing to make it better. So this is why we want to learn and we want to know how to give constructive criticism. Remember, I said being truthful without love, truth without love, you know, is cruelty. We don't want to be cruel to our family members. We don't want to be cruel to our students. There are some cruel teachers. There are some cruel parents. You know, we don't want to be a bad person. And when you are offering harsh, negative criticism without suggestions of how to improve, you are being cruel, okay? Also, we don't want to be hypocrite. And that is why we are having this conversation today. We do not want to be hypocrite, whereby we see room for improvement, we know suggestions for improvement, we have advice for improvement, but we decide to hold it back because it's my family member, because it's my child, because it's my wife, because it's my husband, and things like that. So it's not very advisable, right? So we want to strike a balance between saying the truth, being honest, and being kind, right? And this is what we are here to do today. We want to discuss some tips, some suggestions of what to do. So are you guys ready? Are you guys ready to join me? Thank you, Facebook people, Shamsidin Ajalaru, Dr. Sunday Simon. Thank you for your comment. It's as if that people are ready. Let's do it. So number one, what do you do if you want to be an honest, kind, and truthful critique? You know, somebody that gives criticism in a kind and honest way. Number one is you want to cultivate the culture of critique in your home, at work, among your friends. You want to be an honest person. You want to be somebody that is straightforward. And I saw something some days back where a comedian was discussing, you know, we use comedy to correct social vice. And that's the problem, because comedy is supposed to be comedy, entertainment. So you don't use entertainment to give, you know, serious feedback or to correct behavior. It doesn't work together, right? You know, it's like saying you use water to fuel fire. It doesn't work. Comedy is supposed to be something that relaxes you, and criticism is supposed to be something that sets you up, that challenge you. So when people know that you are joking, when they know your culture to be everything goes, they most often do not want to accept feedback from you. If I have made this topic to be hang out with friends, I mean, I can't come here and be discussing feedback or a serious topic, because it doesn't go, isn't it? So you want to offer criticism in a culture of critique, a culture that welcomes a serious environment. You know, even yourself, you want to wear a serious face. You want to use a serious language so that the person know that, hey, this is a serious topic, right? When you are joking, you are joking. When you are playing, you are playing. Let people know that when you are joking, you are joking. And when you are serious, you are serious. You don't mix it together. Because if you have something to correct in people, if you have a suggestion to offer, and you say it in a joking way, they tend to receive it in a negative manner too. You know, like, I want to correct something, I have the opportunity to correct it, but I do not until I get to where I'm joking and playing, and then I offer the suggestion. Of course, the person won't take it as a feedback. They will take it as being, as you are embarrassing them, or, you know, just trying to molest them in front of people. So the culture is very important. The culture for critique is very important to offer constructive criticism. Another important point for offering constructive criticism is the timing. Timing, guys, timing, I think is the biggest. Timing is the biggest point here. Some people say, you don't correct people under pressure. When people are under pressure, when they do not have time to think through of what they are doing, or you correct people on the point, on the action, it usually doesn't go well, right? You want to have a time where you yourself, you are motivated, you thought through the words that you want to use, or the approach, you know, is something that you have think through and you understand what you want to say. So rather than just bashing on the point. So this is very important. Timing of critique. Secondly, or thirdly, I should say, is the motivation. Some of us will give criticism when we are upset, right? Our reason for offering that suggestion or that advice is because we are angry. So when you offer criticism, when you yourself, you are angry, you don't tend to do it, because you are motivated by your annoyance, by your anger. You know, sometimes people offer suggestion because they are jealous with the person. You know, the person that you are offering the suggestion to, you might be jealous of him or her. And then you are saying you are correcting them. When people see the sense that, okay, the motivation is because you are jealous, they do not tend to accept it, right? So you want to make sure that you have the right motivation, the motivation to correct, the motivation to offer advice, the motivation for improvement. If it's anger, if it's annoyance, you are not offering feedback, you are only angry. Because when you are angry and you are offering criticism, you tend to attack behavior rather than action. You attack personality. So how can you be so stupid? How can you be so dumb? These kind of things. When we offer criticism with annoyance, this is what we do. Dr. Bambo is saying that criticism is meant to be communicated, and communication doesn't take place when exactly. Thank you for that input. So you can't communicate well. Like people say, you give the best communication that you will regret when you are angry. The best communication that you're going to regret is the one you have when you are angry. Thank you for that input, Dr. Bambo. That is so correct. When you offer feedback to your children when you are angry, sometimes you become violent, you beat them, you throw things at them, you use harsh words, you use hyperbole when you are talking to your friend. When you are angry, you over exaggerate the situation, right? So what motivated you is annoyance rather than improvement. Okay, so remember, time, the culture, as well as the motivation is very important. Always ask yourself, why am I, because if you give yourself the time to think about it, the motivation tends to come clear. You will rethink the motivation. Sometimes we're in a situation whereby I'm just looking forward to see this person and I'm going to bash this person. But if you give the time, you will rethink the reason why you are going to offer that suggestion. So you don't want to offer suggestion when you are angry, guys. It's very important. And like I also said, tactics. Tactics is another, the style of communication. Communication always happens in context, the language you are using, the style of communicating. And this goes back to the positive, the fourth type of feedback that I talk about. You remember at the beginning, I said we have 4 types of feedback. So the fourth one, I said it's also known as the sandwich. So the style of offering criticism is also important. Like I said, the number 2, which is the negative constructive, the blunt style, might be acceptable in some situation to some people, especially people that they have soft personality. But if you are dealing with people with ego issue, with temper issue, you want to make sure that you are offering them the sandwich feedback. And what is sandwich feedback? Guys, what is sandwich? I'm sure you all know what sandwich is, right? Because some of us love to eat sandwich. Sandwich is when you have bread at the top, then you have the meat or the vegetable, in the middle, and then you are most welcome. Shukro. Thank you for your comment. And the other type, on the bottom of it, there's another bread. So the bread on the top is the positive comment. Congratulate them for their performance. Tell them something good on what they have done. Tell them, look for something. This type of feedback actually, comes from the appreciative inquiry. When you are always looking for positive thing in everything, if you are the type that always look for what is good in this particular situation, it is easy to do. And how to do it is always looking for, okay, for somebody to have given this kind of performance, it takes a lot of courage, or for somebody to have put together this kind of proposal, it takes a lot of effort. Consider the time, consider the energy. Okay, they have not done it perfectly or as you expected, but what about the time they have spent on it? appreciate them for that. Okay, so that style is the best type of feedback. The sandwich style is a feedback that anyone is willing to accept because you are giving something good, and then from there you set the tone to invite them in, and then you offer them where or what they can do to improve. Isn't that beautiful? It's not, at the end of the day, they are going away. The next time they see you, they are willing to walk up to you. They are willing to expose themselves to you. They are willing to let you see their mistake. But if they know that you are going to bash them or even punish them for their mistake, you are not just going to see that mistake again. And they move away. It blocks collaboration when you are too negative, when you are destructive, and when you do not care for kindness, when you are too honest. Sometimes people say, I'm very honest. It's not bad to be too honest. It's not bad. But like I said in our previous session, I think people misunderstand the meaning of honesty, right? Every time people think honesty is saying things in a harsh way, whereas that is not what honesty means. Honesty is about being clear. Honesty is about being specific. Guys, remember that when you are an honest person, you do not find it difficult to say it in another way, to re-explain it, to be patient with them. I think I should also add here that the reason why we find it difficult, or it's difficult for most of us to be honest, is because we treat people, we always expect people to be smart, and guys, the suggestion I have for you is that if you want to train yourself to be patient with people, treat everyone you meet or you are talking to as if they are out of your town. They don't speak your language. If you notice that, imagine Dr. Bambo, you are in Lagos right now, or sorry, you are in Nigeria right now. I don't know which city you are right now, but I know you are in Nigeria. And imagine you meet somebody from Asia on your street asking you for direction. You are willing to slow down and explain to the person because you know that he doesn't know around here. He doesn't live here. He's not from here. Right? You meet somebody in the middle of Oshodi, a white man in the middle of Oshodi, or a Chinese man or an Indian person, and you can tell from the look that this person is Chinese or Indian. You are willing to slow down and explain to the person. Whereas when you meet a Nigerian like yourself on the road, asking you, how do I get to Songota? You are talking on the road, like take the bus here and then go, because you think you should know. You expect the person to know. After all, you are a Nigerian. But when you see a foreigner, you are willing to slow down and explain. You understand you are willing to accommodate the illiteracy in the person. And that is what you should do. Always treat everybody you meet as if they are out of town. Okay, that's the best way to do it. So I will quickly recap here. We have, mentioned some tips to offer constructive criticism. We said number one is to have the culture of critique, right? Be a straightforward person that people know that when you are talking, you understand what you are saying. You are a serious person. Don't be too serious, but have some element of seriousness when you are offering criticism. Don't joke, don't laugh when you are offering people criticism. They will misunderstand it. And when they misunderstand it, it doesn't come out effective, right? That's the first one. Number two is timing. Timing is very important. Thank you, Professor Sanan. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. So we don't offer criticism under pressure. When somebody is still performing and then you are bashing them when they themselves haven't, gotten the time to think through of what they have done, it's not the right time to offer criticism. Give people time to think through. Okay, timing is important, and also for yourself to think through of the words that you want to use. How do you deliver this in an effective manner? Number 3, we said motivation. Don't be motivated by anger. Okay, anger is for you. See, every one of us, we are self-motivated people. Everyone is self-motivated. People do whatever they do because of themselves, right? So you don't want to offer criticism to improve somebody for your own benefit. When you are motivated by anger, you are thinking of yourself. So if you really want to correct someone, you want to make somebody better, you think of them, not yourself, okay? Don't be motivated by annoyance when you are offering criticism or any type of feedback for that matter. And the last one, the 4th one that we talk about is the style, the tactics. And I said the sandwich feedback is the best one. You can be a blunt person. It works in some situations, but not all situations. But the best tactics for giving feedback is the sandwich feedback, whereby you give some positive upfront, then you offer suggestions on how to be best at what they are doing, and then you end it with some motivational, motivational talk or some motivational suggestions, something to keep them going, right? So there's bread on top, meat in the middle, bread at the bottom. That's the best way to do that. And then in terms of, you also want to speak in terms of their benefit, that's number 5. The 5th tip is that offering criticism in terms of the benefit of the receiver, not the speaker. This is directly the opposite of the motivation tip. When you are thinking of the receiver in mind, okay? So that way, you are looking at them, not yourself. You are telling them, okay, if you do this, reasons why they should accept your advice. Give them reasons that if you do this and do this, this is the likely outcome to get from it. Why should they accept your suggestion? It's important. So highlight the benefit of that, your feedback. Let them know that it is for their own good, that if they are good at this, it is for their own benefit. If they improve this, it is for their own benefit. If they do this, it's for their own benefit. You want to do that. You want to highlight the benefit, okay? And this also relates to you thinking of how can you improve the idea rather than why is the idea better. So if you think of that question, always thinking of how can I improve this idea? How can I improve this performance? How can I improve this submission? How can I improve this proposal? Rather than why is this Muhammad Zida? I believe I'm calling that correctly. How are you? Thank you for joining. Now D, thank you for joining. Thank you. So if you are thinking of how to make an idea better, it is easy to make it beneficial to the person that is receiving the idea. Okay. So, and it is easy for you yourself. I hope that is clear enough. I'm happy to hear your comments, guys. I'm happy to receive any form of input. You can see some guys on Facebook with us. So another important tip for offering constructive criticism is to address behavior, okay? Address the behavior, address the action, but not the character of the actor, okay? Address the behavior, the character. Address the behavior, the action, but not the character of the actor. Don't bring in abusive words when you are offering criticism. Don't refer them back to, that was how you did the other time as well. You remember, or I remember, this is what you do every time. If you do that, you are not helping them. You are letting them know that you are keeping log for them, and it's not, they will be scared of you. They won't let you see because they want to close that tab, right? So hello, Dr. Nuruddin, thank you for joining. So you don't let people know that you are keeping a tab of their mistakes. Address the action on point, not the character of the person. Okay. Wow. Somebody want to join me on Instagram, but I don't think it's possible, but I'll try to accept it. I don't think it's possible to be on Instagram. Okay. So basically, what we have been talking about is constructive criticism. And we started off by saying that criticism is a type of feedback. And I said there are about 4 types of them, okay, where we are comparing from the axis of negative and positive, right? A feedback, a criticism can be negative and can also be positive. And if you compare it that way, we have 4, right? 2 by 2. So we can have a negative, destructive criticism. And I said this type of criticism are that type of feedback that you receive with no point or no proof, no reason for why an idea is unacceptable or why an idea is bad. You just tell somebody that you have a stupid idea, you have a bad idea. I mean, you are being destructive. You are destroying the person's self-esteem. You are destroying their morale. You are destroying their, motivation to keep going. And you don't want to do that. Number 2, we said it's the negative constructive. Sometimes using harsh language might be helpful, okay, depending on the personality of the receiver, right? So this is when you are giving harsh criticism with no any positive input. You ignore the positive input, but you give reasons why whatever you are saying should be considered. The third one is the positive destructive. And I said, this is the hypocritical feedback that sometimes we receive from our relatives, people that pay attention to our feelings, right? They don't want to hurt us. And because of that, they tend to tell us whatever we are doing is okay, even if it's not okay. And you don't want to be, I mean, you don't always want to receive feedback from those kind of people because it's not helpful. It makes you complacent. You don't see reasons or how you should improve whatever you are doing. And the 4th type is the positive constructive. And I said it's also known as the appreciative response. This is the type of feedback that is in form of sandwich, where somebody gives you something positive and then suggests ways of improving, and then they ended it with some positive comment. And so we move on to mention a number of tips of how to give constructive criticism. I said the culture of constructive criticism or the context is very important. You as the person that's offering criticism, you don't want to mix it up with comedy. You don't want to mix it up with some funny, some jokes. If it's a criticism, if it's a critique, it's already a sensitive topic. You don't want to add some complexity to it. It's not helpful. And also we said the timing is important. Look for the proper time of the day, the proper time of the session. You don't offer criticism early in the morning. Let it be when everybody's calm and cool, not in the sun, when people are hot, and then people can easily go crazy, right? The timing is very important. The motivation, what is motivating you to offer this criticism is also important. You don't want to offer criticism when you are motivated by your own anger or your own personal motivation, right? You want to make sure that you are motivated by improvement, by honesty, okay? And we also talk about the style, and then we also talk about highlighting the benefit of the receiver, and finally we ended it with addressing the behavior, the action, and not the character of the actor. And that's going to be it from me. I would appreciate any input from anyone. Thank you all for joining us today. And happy Ramadan to Muslims all around the world. This is going to be the first night of Ramadan, and I'm going to be doing this very often in Ramadan because, of course, nobody sleeps at night in Ramadan. So I hope we can hang out and discuss some topics like these. If you guys have any particular topic that you want me to discuss in the next session, I don't know when I'm coming next, but I will be coming very, very soon because this is Ramadan, you know, we have the night, we are more relaxed. So guys, let's do it. And if you have anything, any suggestion, you can comment on Facebook. I read it all, on Instagram, as well as on YouTube. Also, you might want to subscribe to my YouTube channel because I have an interesting topic related to communication, related to research methodology and soft skills, emotional intelligence, you know, and all these important communication topics. You can subscribe and like and click on the notification button so that you get informed whenever I upload a new topic. And very, very soon I'm going to be conducting an interview with a very brilliant brother and friend that just completed his PhD. And we are going to be discussing on the why you should or shouldn't do PhD. We will touch on different topics on why should you do PhD? Why should you consider PhD? What is that thing that you take out of from doing PhD? And I know many guys that follow me on Instagram and Facebook are considering doing their PhD. Sometimes people write to me and tell me I'm submitting my application for PhD. So this is going to be an important topic for you. You might want to watch out for that. If you subscribe to my channel, you will definitely be notified when that post comes up. And that's going to be it from me. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Ramadan Mubarak, kullu amin wa antum bakhair. I wish you all the best. Thank you all. Goodbye.